In this video, we're going to start the Infinite Algebra 1 under the KutaSoftware website multi-step inequalities worksheet. We're going to use very similar methods to solving multi-step equations in which we combine like terms, as well as using the tools and tips from one-step and two-step inequalities. So our directions are to solve each inequality and graph its solution. In number 1, we have 3 is less than negative 5n plus 2n. We're going to start by combining like terms on the right-hand side, the negative 5n and the 2n. That'll leave us with 3 is less than negative 5n plus 2n is a negative 3n. Then it's just a one-step inequality. We're going to divide by negative 3, and since we're dividing by a negative, we are going to have to remember to flip this inequality sign. So 3 divided by negative 3 is a negative 1, and that's going to be greater than negative 3n divided by negative 3, which is a positive n. We can also rewrite this as n is less than negative 1. Remember, keeping the inequality sign oriented the correct way. So we have n is less than negative 1. Graphing that, it's the same as we did in one-step and two-step inequalities. We're going to circle the negative 1 and shade everything to the left since n is less than negative 1. And just as I did in the previous videos, I'll split this up into 3 separate videos. So I'll do numbers 1 through 8, and then 9 through 16, and then finish out the rest of the worksheet in the third video. Moving on to number 2, we're going to combine like terms on the left-hand side. So the two 6x's will be combined to be 12x. And that'll be plus 2, since that's still left on the left-hand side, is less than 14. Now I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides to get that 12x is less than 12. Dividing by 12, we will get that x, since 12x divided by 12 is 1x, which is x, is less than 12 divided by 12, which is 1. That's the solution to this multi-step inequality. So now let's graph. Circle the 1, not filling it in, but shading everything to the left. On to number 3. Negative p minus 4p is greater than negative 10. Combine the like terms on the left. There are 2 terms with p in them. So negative p minus 4p, we're going further into the negatives, and that's going to be negative 5p, and that's greater than negative 10. Divide by a negative 5 on both sides, and since we divided by a negative, we're going to have to flip the inequality. So this will be p is less than a positive 2. Find the 2, circle it, and p is less than 2, so we're shading everything to the left. In number 4, we have 18 is greater than or equal to 5k plus 4k. Combining like terms on the right-hand side, we're going to have 18 on the left is greater than or equal to 9k on the right. Then it's just a one-step inequality. Divide both sides by 9 to get that 2 is greater than or equal to k. And if you want to rewrite that with the variable on the left side, just flip it around to be k is less than or equal to 2. Graphing this, we're going to circle and fill in the 2 since k can be equal to the 2, but it's less than or equal to, so we're shading in to the left. Number 5, we have 9 is greater than or equal to negative 2m plus 2 minus 3. Combining like terms on the right-hand side, there's only one term with m, but we can combine the 2 and the negative 3 if this was plus a negative. So we have 9 is greater than or equal to negative 2m plus 2 minus 3, or 2 plus negative 3, is a negative 1. This is now a two-step inequality. We're going to add 1 to both sides to get that 10 is greater than or equal to negative 2m, and then divide by that negative 2. And since we're dividing by a negative, we're switching the inequality. So 10 divided by negative 2 is a negative 5, and that's going to be not greater than or equal to, but less than or equal to m. We can rewrite this as m is greater than or equal to -5. Find the -5, circle and shaded n, and then m is greater than or equal to, so it's everything to the right. For number 6, we have -3 minus 6 times the quantity 4x plus 6 is greater than -111. Let's start by distributing the 6. And let's go ahead and make this a -6. Since we're subtracting 6, we'll do plus a -6. So we're going to distribute that -6. We'll get -3 plus -24x plus -36. And that's going to be greater than -111. Let's combine the like terms now. We have -3 and a -36 on the left-hand side. So we're going to combine those to get -39 plus -24x is greater than -111. Now we're going to add 39 to both sides. We'll be left with a -24x on the left-hand side, and that's going to be greater than a -72 on the right. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this line over here. -24x is greater than -72. So now we're going to go ahead and divide by -24. When we divide by negative, we have to flip the inequality. So this is going to become less than. So x is less than a +3. Locating the 3, circle that and shade everything to the left. For number 7, we have 6 minus 4 times 6n plus 7 is greater than or equal to 122. Start by distributing the 4, but like we did in the last problem, we're going to distribute that as a -4. So -4 times 6n and -4 times 7. That'll leave us with 6 plus -24n plus -28 is greater than or equal to 122. Combining like terms on the left-hand side, we have to combine the 6 with the -28. 6 combined with -28 will leave us with a -22. So -22 plus -24 n is greater than or equal to 122. We're going to add 22 to both sides to get that -24 n is greater than or equal to 144. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that inequality step. And then we're just going to divide both sides by -24. This will leave us with n is switching the inequality since we divided by a negative, less than or equal to a -6. Circle, shade in the -6, and then we're going to shade in everything to the left as -6 as well. And on to the last problem in this video. -138 is greater than or equal to -6 times 6b minus 7. 6 goes into 138, so I'm going to start this by dividing by that -6. Remembering to flip the inequality sign. So -138 divided by -6 is a +23. That's going to be less than or equal to 6b minus 7. Add 7 to both sides, and we'll get that 30 is less than or equal to 6b. Divide by 6 to get that 5 is less than or equal to b. And we can rewrite this as b is greater than or equal to 5. Either way is correct. I'm going to go ahead and box my answer and graph the solution. Circling the 5, filling it in, and then shading everything to the right. B is greater than or equal to 5. In this video, we're going to continue the multi-step inequalities worksheet, beginning with number 9 and ending with number 16. And in the following video, the third video of this worksheet, we'll finish it out. 167 is less than 6 plus 7 times 2 minus 7r. We're going to start by distributing that 7. That'll leave us with 167 is less than 6 plus 7 times 2 is 14 minus 7 times 7r is 49r. Combining like terms on the right, we can combine the 6 and the 14 together. That'll leave us with 167 is less than 6 plus 14 is a positive 20 minus or plus a negative 49r. Subtracting 20 from both sides, we'll get that 147 is less than negative 49r. Rewriting this, we're going to divide by a negative 49. When we divide by a negative, we have to switch the inequality, and 147 divided by a negative 49 is a negative 3, and that's going to be greater than r. Or we could write this as r is less than negative 3. Circle the negative 3 and shade everything to the left. R is less than negative 3 is the answer for number 9. Number 10, we have 5 times 6 plus 3r plus 7 is greater than or equal to 127. Start by distributing the positive 5. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 5 times 3r is 15r, plus 7 is greater than or equal to 127. Now we're going to combine like terms on the left-hand side. 30 plus 7 is going to be 37, and that's going to be plus 15r is greater than or equal to 127. Subtract 37 from both sides, and we'll get that 15r is greater than or equal to 90. Now we just have to divide by 15. 15 goes into 96 times, so r is greater than or equal to 6. Circle, fill in the 6, and then shade everything to the right. Number 11, negative 8x plus 2x minus 16 is less than negative 5x plus 7x. Let's combine like terms on the right, and we're going to combine like terms on the left. Negative 8x plus 2x is a negative 6x, and we're left with minus 16, and that's going to be less than negative 5x plus 7x is a positive 2x. Let's go ahead and move the x to the right-hand side by adding 6x to both sides. Since the 16 is subtracted, it's a negative 16, and that's going to be less than 8x. Divide by that positive 8 to get that negative 2 is less than x, or we can rewrite this as x is greater than negative 2. Circle the negative 2, but do not fill it in, and shade everything to the right. And if you're still confused about what way to shade or what numbers to shade, feel free to go back to my one-step inequality or simply graphing inequalities videos. Number 12, negative 1 minus 6x minus 6 is greater than negative 11 minus 7x. Start by combining like terms on the left-hand side. Negative 1 minus 6 is going to be negative 7. And that's going to be added to a negative 6x, since subtracting 6x is the same as adding a negative 6x. All of that is greater than negative 11 minus 7x. So in this step, I'm going to go ahead and move the negative 7 to the right-hand side and the negative 7x to the left-hand side, which would be adding a 7 to the left and adding a 7x to the right. Whatever I do to the left, I do to the right, and vice versa. So I have to add a 7x here, and I have to add a 7 on this side. That way this will be 0, and this will be 0. Negative 6x plus 7x is 1x, which is simply x, and that's going to be greater than negative 11 plus 7 is a negative 4. So we have x is greater than negative 4 for number 12. Circle the negative 4 and shade everything to the right. On to the second page, number 13. A minus 6 is less than or equal to 15 plus 8a. We're going to start by subtracting a from both sides. That'll leave us with a negative 6 on the left is less than or equal to 15 plus 7a. Then we'll go ahead and subtract a 15 from both sides. Negative 6 minus 15 is going to be negative 21, and that's less than or equal to 7a. Divide by 7 to get that negative 3 is less than or equal to a, or we can rewrite this as a is greater than or equal to negative 3 if you prefer the variable on the left-hand side. Locate the negative 3, fill that in, and highlight or shade everything to the right. Number 14, let's go ahead and combine like terms on the left-hand side. So we're going to have 13 minus 8, which will be a 5, plus 6 will be 11. So I have 11 plus 2v is greater than negative 7 minus v. I'll subtract 11 from the left. Whatever I do to the left, I do to the right, and I'll add v from the right. Whatever I do to the right, I have to do to the left. This will become 0, and this will become 0. So I'll be left with 3v is greater than negative 18. Divide by 3 to get that v is greater than negative 6. Since negative 18 divided by 3 is negative 6. Circle the negative 6, not filling that in, and shading everything to the right. For number 15, negative 5n minus 6n is less than or equal to 8 minus 8n minus n. We're going to combine like terms on the left, and we're going to combine like terms on the right. Negative 5n minus 6n is negative 11n, and that's going to be less than or equal to 8 minus, or we can do plus a negative 8n minus n, or plus a negative n is going to be negative 9n. Add 9n to both sides to get that negative 2n is less than or equal to a positive 8. We're going to divide by a negative 2, and when we do that, we're going to also have to flip the inequality. So we'll have n is greater than or equal to negative 4. Circle the negative 4, fill that in, and then shade everything to the right. And the last problem in this video, number 16. Before we go ahead and do that, please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. We're going to start this one by distributing this 7. We'll have negative x is less than negative x plus 7x minus 14, or plus a negative 14. Now we're going to combine like terms. I'm going to combine the negative x and the 7x on the right hand side. I'll have negative x is less than 6x plus negative 14 on the right side. Subtract 6x from both sides to get that negative 7x is less than a negative 14. I'm going to rewrite this inequality up here on the right. When I divide by a negative 7, I'm dividing by a negative, so I have to remember to flip the inequality. So this will be x is greater than a positive 2. Circle the 2 and then shade everything to the right. Also, please feel free to comment below if you have any questions. And join me for the next video where we'll finish this multi-step inequality worksheet. Number 17 on the multi-step inequalities worksheet. Negative 5n plus 6 is greater than or equal to negative 7 times the quantity 5n minus 6 minus 6n. I'm going to start by distributing this negative 7. We'll have negative 5n plus 6 on the left since we did nothing to the left-hand side, and we'll have negative 35n minus a negative 42, so plus a positive 42 minus 6n on the right. Then I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms on that right-hand side. Negative 5n plus 6 is still on the left-hand side, and that's greater than or equal to negative 35 plus a negative 6n or minus a 6n, which will be negative 41n plus 42. I'll go ahead and add 41n to both sides, and while I'm at it, I'll go ahead and subtract 6 from the left. And whatever I do to the left, I do to the right. Negative 5n plus 41n will be 36n, and that's going to be greater than or equal to 42 minus 6 is 36. Divide both sides by 36, and I'll get that n is greater than or equal to 1. As the solution to this inequality, n is greater than or equal to 1, so I'm going to circle the 1, fill that in, and shade everything to the right. Number 18, we have 3 times the quantity p minus 3 minus 5p is greater than negative 3p minus 6. I'm going to go ahead and distribute the 3 at the start, and while I'm at it, I'll go ahead and just add 5p to both sides. 3 times p is 3p, 3 times 3 is 9, so 3p minus 9 is greater than negative 3p plus 5p is a positive 2p minus 6. Then I'll subtract 2p from both sides, and I'll also add 9 to both sides. That way the 9's will cancel out and the 2p's will cancel out. That'll leave me with 1p, which is p is greater than negative 6 plus 9 is a positive 3. P is greater than 3. Circle the 3 and shade everything to the right. Number 19, 28 minus k is greater than or equal to 7 times k minus 4. 7 goes into 28 evenly, but it doesn't go into negative 1k evenly, so I'm going to distribute that 7. I'll have 28 minus k is greater than or equal to 7k minus 28. I'll add a k to both sides, and I'll add a 28 to both sides, so that the k's will cancel out and the 28's on the right hand side will cancel out. 28 plus 28 is going to give me 56, and that's going to be greater than or equal to 8k. Divide both sides by 8 to get that 7 is greater than or equal to positive k. You could also write this as k is less than or equal to 7. Circle the 7, shade it in, and then shade everything to the left as well, since k is less than or equal to 7. For number 20, we have 28 minus 7x is less than or equal to negative 4 minus 7x minus 7. Let's go ahead and distribute this negative 4. So I'm not doing anything to the left, so I'll rewrite the left-hand side. 28 minus 7x is less than or equal to negative 4 times negative 7 is a positive 28x. Negative 4 times a negative 7 again, if this was adding a negative, is going to be plus a positive 28. I'll add 7x to both sides to get that 28 is less than or equal to 35x plus 28, and then I'll subtract 28 from both sides to get that 0 is less than or equal to 35x. And when I divide by 35, 0 divided by any number is just 0. So 0 is less than or equal to x. And if you want the variable on the left, if you feel more comfortable looking at it that way, you can have x is greater than or equal to 0. When I graph that, I'll circle the 0, shade it in, and then shade everything to the right, since x is greater than or equal to 0. In number 21, we have negative 6 times 1 plus 7k plus 7 times 1 plus 6k is less than or equal to negative 2. I'm going to start by distributing the negative 6. And while I'm at it, I'll also distribute the 7, since there are two distributions that need to happen on the left-hand side. Negative 6 times 1 is negative 6, plus negative 6 times 7k is a negative 42k, plus 7 times 1 is 7, plus 42k is less than or equal to negative 2. Now I'll go ahead and combine like terms. I'm going to combine the negative 6 and the 7, and I'm also going to combine the negative 42k and the positive 42k. Negative 6 plus 7 is a positive 1, plus negative 42 plus 42 is 0k. So that's just going to be 0 is less than or equal to negative 2. When I simplify this, I'll get that 1 is less than or equal to negative 2. And we know that that's not possible since 1 is greater than negative 2, so this has no solution. So there's no value that we can plug in for this k to make this inequality true. Therefore, there's no solution and nothing to graph. For number 22, I'm going to go ahead and write this as plus a negative 4x plus 5. So we're going to distribute the negative 4, and we're also going to distribute this negative 2. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Negative 2 times 2x is a negative 4x, but that's subtracted, so we're going to add a positive 4x, plus negative 4 times x is a negative 4x, plus negative 4 times 5 is negative 20, and that's all less than or equal to negative 24. Now we're going to combine like terms. We're going to combine the negative 4 and the negative 20, and we're also going to combine the 4x and the negative 4x. Negative 4 plus negative 20 is going to be negative 24. 4x plus a negative 4x is 0x, or 0, and that's going to be less than or equal to negative 24. Negative 24 plus 0 is negative 24, and that's going to be less than or equal to negative 24. And this inequality is true. Negative 24 is less than or equal to negative 24 because negative 24 does equal 24. So the solution to number 22 is all real numbers. And the real numbers can be written like this. That means that we can plug any number we want in for that variable x, and it will make this inequality true. So when we go to graph this, we're going to shade in the entire number line. So if you want to, go ahead and test it out. Plug in 1 for x, plug in 5 for x, plug in negative 4 for x, and see that this inequality will always be true. Number 23, we have 3 times 1 minus 2x is greater than 3 minus 6x. I'm going to start by dividing by 3 since both the 3 and the 6 are divisible by 3. That'll leave me with 1 minus 2x on the left, and that's going to be greater than 1 minus 2x on the right. Since 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6x divided by 3 is 2x. Now you'll notice that 1 minus 2x is the same as 1 minus 2x, so we already know that those two are equal, but it's telling us that one of them is greater than the other. So right away, we can see that this will be no solution. And if you want to do a little bit more of the math, you can go ahead and add 2x to both sides so that the 2x's will cancel out, and you can see that 1 greater than 1 is not true. So therefore, there is no solution for number 23. Let's go on to our last problem of this worksheet, number 24. Negative 2 times 5 plus 6n is less than 6 times 8 minus 2n. I know that this 6 is divisible by 2, so I'm going to start by dividing both sides by a negative 2. When I divide by a negative 2, I'm going to have to flip the inequality. So I'll have 5 plus 6n on the left-hand side, and that's going to be greater, since I'm flipping the inequality, than 6 divided by negative 2 is a negative 3 times 8 minus 2n. Now I'm going to distribute this negative 3. So as opposed to having to do 2 distributions in the beginning, I only have to do 1. 5 plus 6n remains on the left side, and that's greater than negative 3 times 8 is negative 24, minus negative 3 times 2n is a negative 6n. So if we're subtracting a negative, we're going to add a positive 6n. Now I'm going to subtract 6n from both sides, and you'll get that 5 plus 0 is greater than negative 24 plus 0. And this is true. 5 is greater than negative 24. So that means that any value we plug in for n will make this inequality true. So our solution is all real numbers. So we can go ahead and shade in the entire number line. And if you want to, go ahead and test. Plug in a negative 6 for n, and you'll see that this side of the inequality is indeed less than this side of the inequality. Or plug in 0. Let's go ahead and plug in 0 now. If we plug in 0 for n, we know that both of these terms will become 0. So then we're left with negative 2 times 5, which is negative 10. And that is indeed less than 6 times 8, which is 48. So this inequality is true for all real numbers. And that finishes the multi-step inequality worksheet. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. All likes and subscriptions are greatly appreciated. And if you have any questions, please feel free to comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.